Good evening, YouTube. We're about to go live and we're talking tonight about building a website using AI. We're going to get people into the Zoom call as well and say hello to them as more people come in slowly tonight. Just give them a couple of minutes to get in. Good evening, Roger. Good evening, Al. You're welcome to unmute and say hello if you want.
No, no, no. Don't say hello. That would mean we're here.
He's got to find the button.
I can't find the button.
How you doing, buddy? All right?
I am good, thanks. You too?
Yeah, we're doing well. We
Good.
are going to go tonight. New training in the members area. We're going to talk about it, and Robert's going to share the site in a bit and just talk about where we're at with it. We've started recording the citation training, but that will take a little while longer, probably a few weeks, because we want to show the results as well. So maybe 3 to 4 weeks time we can get that training in the members area also. And we've also in the next couple of weeks got Rank Math SEO to go over.
Cool. Lots going on as always then.
Yeah, lots going on. Health update, I'm doing good. I'm feeling okay. Fatigue is the worst part of this at the moment, where but when you work for yourself, this is the exciting thing. When you work for yourself, if you're absolutely knackered, and you can't be bothered to do anything, you need to go back to bed for a few hours,
Yeah. I guess the heat's not helping you much either, is it?
Well, I've got a fan and air. I've got an air conditioning unit in here. It's cooler now this time of the evening, and I've got a nice fan that cools the lounge down when I'm in there. So,
okay.
It's not too bad. It's all right.
Well, as you know, Roger, he's full of hot air, anyways.
He's what? Sorry,
I'm full of hot air. Right. See you next week.
So listen, hello everybody. I know it's Sunday. Many people are on vacation, and we get it, and we should be too, actually, but it's okay. We have started approximately a month ago, I think. I lose track of time, so it's hard to say exactly.
A little bit longer than that, I would say.
You think?
Yeah,
because
it took us a few days to get the edit done on the video training.
Well, we could look it up, but it doesn't matter. You know what? At the end of the day, we're trying to do the training. We're trying to build the site for the local business, and we're trying to give you guys the over the shoulder look at what's going to happen. Okay, and are we perfect? No, we have a lot of things going on. Steve has medical issues. I have stuff going on at home. It's not that we don't want to do it, but sometimes we get
life gets in the way.
Have you ever heard the phrase life gets in the way? Well, it happens a lot. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go over again. We're building a site for a local business in a local area for
pressure washing.
For pressure washing, but we're doing it all AI.
Yeah.
We're doing it slow because we're having to go through the process of recording the videos and training and looking at what you guys are going to see so that it makes more sense. But when you grasp the concept of being able to build a site using AI and using AI to give you the content, and then you just apply it to the principles that we've been doing for years, it's still, nothing has changed, but always, as we've always said, the Google algorithm will fluctuate. It goes back and forth. It doesn't ebb and flow. At one point it says this, and then it says that, and then it goes back to this, just to shake it up so that nobody can figure out what Google says works. But at the end of the day, I say it, Steve says it, we've been saying it for a very long time. Google wants to deliver the best response for the inquiry of the searcher. That's all that matters. That's the whole thing for Google and every other search engine out there. And people always forget it's not just Google. Yeah, Google is the 800-pound gorilla, but there's Bing, there's Yahoo, there's all these other, there's like 600 different search engines out there that you can use that people that can find traffic. But we focus on Google because that's where the majority of people are. So looking at competitive, but yet localized business. Remember, we're carrying a cell phone and we're carrying a GPS tracker of where we are and what we're doing and what we're looking for. And as scary as it is, you have to realize that when you're talking in a room, and it can be a topic about anything, eyeglass repair. I need to get my eyeglasses fixed, right? Because I got scratches on the lens. And I can start talking about eyeglass repair, and I'll be damned. They'll start serving me ads up about eyeglasses, right? And where to go get them fixed. And, here's the best price, and here's it. And it doesn't matter what you talk about. They're listening, guys. Is it right? Is it wrong? That doesn't matter. It's what happens. So if you don't believe me, test it yourself sometime. Just pick up a random topic and start talking about it with somebody in your family, in front of your Alexa, in front of your phone, in front of your any device. And then in the next day or two, you'll start searching online. And all of a sudden, if you start talking about red shoes, they're going to start selling you red shoes all over the place. They're on sale all of a sudden. And it's mind-boggling that they're tracking us on everything that we say, everything that we do, and the locality. That's what I'm getting at. The locality that we're in. They're tracking us. Why? Because they're going to serve you up the next available thing that's in that area. So when we're talking local business, we're not going, well, you can, but I'm not going to get into it at the moment. But if you think about it, a local plumber, painter, electrician, anything, right? Mobile detailer. He's going to stay in an area that makes sense to him to travel in. Does he want to travel 500 miles to do a car dealing gig? It's not worth it. So he wants to stay within 30 to 60 miles maximum, right? And it's going to depend on the niche and what they're doing. And it's going to change. So say mobile detailer makes, I don't know, 150, 250 bucks doing a spectacular buff and shine and all that stuff, carpet shampoos. But he has to look at, if I travel 60 miles to do that $250 job, pulling my trailer or traveling in my van or whatever vehicle I use, it costs me time. I could have done 3 gigs in the local area in the time it took me to get there. So everything's relative to the niche and how far away. And that's what Google does in the local search. So they want to know where you are, and they're using your devices, your own phones, tablets, any mobile device that you have, laptops. And they plug into where you are, and they feed you up with what's right there. And that's why the local search becomes so important. So if I'm out of whack, I don't think so, but if I'm out of whack and Google isn't doing that, it's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter to the local area, because that's what makes sense. Because the searcher, again, has to get the best result for his inquiry. If he's looking for a car detailer, if he's looking for a pizza, if he's looking for food, it's got to be close by where it doesn't make sense. Why, if I start inquiring about pizza, or Steve starts inquiring about fish and chips, right? Why would they serve him anything else except what's within 5 minutes of where his location is? Right? They want to give you what's really close by. They're not going to give you fish and chips that's 400 miles away. Steve will starve to death by the time it gets delivered.
Maybe.
But you know what I mean? It's that simple.
I'm whipping away already thinking about it.
If you think about it, this is what we have to do for the local business. He has to go after the clients that are local to the area that they want to serve. And we have to put that same mentality in. So what did we do? We wanted to show and put it into videos, the training of how to build a localized site for a service in a local area. And that's what we did. So we said, well, let's do something different. Let's do pressure washing. And let's do the area that I happen to live in is Wellington, Florida. So let's just put one up. Let's use AI to build the entire site and write the content. Now, we will do the GMB, the Google Business Partner listing. We will do more of the images to make it geotagged. But right off the get-go, we're just going to go with a domain name that's localized for the area and also a niche in the domain. So we picked the domain name to be pressurewashingwellington.com because it gives us an area and it gives us the niche itself, which is pressure washing. So I'm going to share, if that's okay.
While you're sharing, I'm just going to say a few things. On our training, we talk about Abacus AI. There's a link to it where we are an affiliate, and also Cadence AI. Now, that said, and we say it in the training, you can use any AI program that you're comfortable with, and like ChatGPT, any of those, and you can use any builder inside of WordPress to do a similar thing. Now, the reason we like Cadence is because we can get a very basic, bare bone website built with content on in the first place very, very quickly. And then we then got an idea of what we want to tweak using AI. And so that's one main thing. Now, the other thing we've done, as you can see in the domain name, is actually mentioned the location. I've ranked sites in my location without having the location keyword on them. But what's then important is, as you can see bang in the middle there on the H1 tag, is pressure washing Wellington. So you need to be telling Google the information it needs, which is why when we build the sites out, our next part of the training is going to be on Rank Math. We haven't put Rank Math on here yet, but we've already got the site indexed without telling Google. And really important to state, the last thing you do, and this is the last thing we're going to be putting in the training, last of all, is submitting it to Google Search Console. So you build your site, you get good content, you do the low-hanging fruit service pages, and you spend your time doing the SEO. You get the site right in the first place. Then you do your citations, and last of all, you then submit it to the Google Search Console to say, hello, I've done an update on the site. It's all SEO'd up. I'm ready to go. The reason we don't do it before, even if Google indexes it for us, is you're then only going back to resubmit it again and tell it to crawl it again. You're better off not doing it. Do all the work, but the hard work in, even if it takes you 3-4 weeks to get the site right, once you've built a site, the cool thing then is you can use our Shortcode Magic plugin and add it to anywhere where the phone number is. And you could then duplicate the site, move it to a new location. And another example, a second shortcode you could use is where the word Wellington is. So there's two different shortcodes you can build with it. So you move it to a new location, let's say New York, for an example, right? And once you moved it to New York, you go in and you'll use the Shortcode Magic plugin just to change the site from Wellington to New York in one location. So that is the exciting thing with this. But the first thing to do, and this is the first thing we advise people, build a site normally from top to bottom in our AI training inside our members area. Follow the training, and like I said, you can use your own WordPress builder, your own. You can use ChatGPT, or you can just use what we use. Abacus AI, I think, is about £10 a month, roughly. I can't remember what Cadence costs to buy, but like I said, we have stated well, you don't necessarily need those to do what we are doing. Do you have a step-by-step that takes this concept? So
yeah, I want to let me just step in for a second before you answer that, Steve. What we're doing, like in the training, we're just going to recap here at this particular moment to tell you what we did and why we did it, which is to show you the local business. In addition, we created the service pages. So each one of these services is interlinked back to the contact page. Google likes content. So do all the other search engines. And because we did this is why it got indexed. Now, for the no-sayers, whatever, what happened, right? We built the site. We didn't put it in the Google Search Console. If you do an in search, or what's the word? Not exact, but I can't think of the word at the moment. There's broad, in phrase.
Yeah.
When you put it in quotes and search in phrase, pressure washing Wellington, that means that the only results that are going to come up are the results for that phrase in that order, pressure washing Wellington. And in this particular search, right, we are currently, I think it's on page 3. So this is page 3 for pressure washing Wellington. For the exact match phrase, or in phrase, I should say, pressure washing Wellington. We're not on page 1, but we're not meant to be yet. We're not even in the Google Search Console yet. But because we've built the site right, we haven't done rank math yet. But as all these things come together, Google will rank us higher and higher because of what we're doing. In addition to Google finding us, it's indexed almost every site. How do I know it's indexed? I put in quote the domain name without the front protocol. I just said pressurewashingwellington.com, and it'll tell me what Google finds for that search, which these happen to be all the pages of the website. In addition, it found Facebook already because we set that as a citation on social media. It found YouTube because we created the account in social media for YouTube.
And we'll go over YouTube as well, just to say, Robert, and a part of the citation training that will be coming up. And also, we haven't done rank math yet. So if you look at the headline there, so where it says reviews pressure washing Wellington, we would change that to a keyword. And then where it says our skilled team there, we will change that content to be more in line with a review for somebody, but we'd want in there mentioning pressure washing Wellington inside that text as well.
We can get into nitty-gritty detail, but what I'm trying to say to you, without trying very hard, we're getting indexed. We were indexed within, I think, a week to 2 weeks of when we created the site.
Under a week, Robert.
Under a week?
Yeah, there's a few days actually where we found it on there.
It's insanity how quickly things happen when you build the site right. And like I said, when you watch the training, which anybody that's in our school group already has access to the training, it shows you how to build this site using AI.
Yeah.
And then you come back and you add more content to the service pages. This is not rocket science. It scares people, but that's why we have the school group. Okay. Because you can come in, you can ask your questions. You can what if this, what if that, what if that? But if you go through the training, look, if you don't, Zig Ziglar used to use a quotation. Something like, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start. And then you become great. So it's like everything else. If you don't take the step forward, and if you don't change your mindset that I can go and I can do this, right? Instead of I can't. You can. It's just a matter of taking the steps, asking the right questions, and don't get tripped up on the tech. Look, we've been doing this for 5 years, Stephen and I, and I get tripped up in the tech all the time. But it's not the tech that bothers me. It's the problem used to be for me. Who do I ask to get help with the tech? It's when you can't get those answers to your questions, they become roadblocks. And the roadblocks stop you from going forward. Because the most important thing to you in the world right now is this particular question, right? And the world is going to end if I don't get the answer to this question. It's not. But the reality is that's how people get so caught up in the tech that they don't know how to move forward. And the reality is Stephen and I created Done For You Magic themes to help people get past the tech, to help people get started. And that's what we've been doing for 5 years. So it's not about belief. It's not about mindset. It's about taking action and moving forward. And nothing, okay, I bought the wrong domain name. I screwed up my hosting. I screwed up my phone number. I screwed up. It doesn't matter. The phrase, I have to fail. I have to fail forward. But if you're not making mistakes and you're not doing anything, you're never going to get anywhere. To get from point A to point B, you have to take a step. If you're afraid to take a step, you're never going to get to point B.
Absolutely, Robert. And I must say, add to that, throughout business, throughout my life, 2008 was when I went self-employed because of a car accident and I couldn't work for a company anymore fixing servers. Over those years, I made many a mistake. And I used to be so scared of making mistakes at first or trying to please customers too much. Like I've had clients who have micromanaged me when I first started building websites for local businesses, which is why I took the attitude with all of this to go, you know what, I'm going to build a website and I'm not going to faff around. We tried with another product to do the rank and rent model, all right? And it's a great model. I'm not knocking it for 1 minute. But then you got the leads coming in. Well, it's the old chicken and egg thing. What do you sell first, right? Do you build the website, get the leads coming in and don't send them anywhere? Or do you get the leads coming in and give them away to someone? Or do you hope the leads are going to come in and have someone ready for them? Compared to our model, build a bloody website, get it up online and go to a local business group, go to the Chamber of Commerce, get on Facebook groups where businesses are, go down to I walk through the town every day, right? And there was a coffee shop in town that didn't have a website. I went in and bought a coffee and I said, this is a great coffee shop. I don't remember seeing this here before. And so I'm going to start using it from now on. And I chat to them, what do you do? I build websites. Well, off the back of that, I'm able to build them a coffee shop website, rent it to them, and not actually rank it at all. If they want it ranking, I'll do one or two things. I'll arbitrage it out to someone who can do it for me. I've got some great devs who can do the work for me, so I can save the time and just make money on top. So I don't have to worry about that. Option one. But my favorite option of all is just rent the website out to people. Get their content on and rent it on a monthly fee. and just see where it goes from there. And by meeting people face to face, you have an edge, right? Going to your local shops and putting in your local shop a card. My local post office has a card in it saying, looking for a website from £97 a month, because we're in the UK, we're $97. Call this number, and there's a special number which we use through Voicey, which is in your membership as well. A full phone system in your membership. I know Roger's been playing around with it and loving it. You know, there are companies out there that charge more than $47 a month, right? And we'll bring Roger in a minute. More than $47 a month just for a phone system. We're doing a phone system. We're doing how to build a website with AI. We're going to go over citations. We're going to go over submitting it to Search Console. And the best thing of all is, as Robert just said, get started. I used to be so scared of getting started. I would never get anything done. You know, and the cool thing about these calls, and in a few minutes' time, we're going to come off of YouTube and say goodnight, and we're going to be on the meeting only. And when we go to that point, if you're building a website and you want advice on this call with us, we allow you to share. So you can share it with the members on here. All the members keep it to themselves. We don't tread on each other's feet. And you can say, what do you think of this? You know, and or send a link in a message. And when I have a spare moment, I can have a look at the site you've built and give you some sort of direction the best we can. Just to answer a few questions quickly, and then we're going off YouTube. I know Al said, is Cadence a theme? I'll just bring in that, right. Cadence is a WordPress theme, but to do the AI part in our training, you need their AI credits. And that's why it doesn't cost you anything to click. We're grateful for those that follow our affiliate links. If you don't, you don't. We're not too worried, but we get a small amount for that, you know. And so you can buy Cadence. I think they still have a lifetime deal on Cadence where you get so many credits a month, but don't go mad, right? The one thing that annoys me the most in this industry, and there are gurus out there who will get you to buy a product, then they get you on a call midweek and they want to sell you something for £1,000. Then a week later they want to sell you for another 1,000, then another 1,000, and before long, over 10 weeks, you spent 10 grand with them without realizing, because you've got to buy everything, right? Well, on our system, you can follow the AI training, build a website. You just need hosting for it, and you're up and running, and a domain name. You know, and if you end up moving on, well, guess what? Because we now put the training in Gumroad, you can keep the training with our blessing. We're not greedy people, but you don't get the support if you leave, and you don't get to keep Voicey if you leave. Those are things. With our shortcode plugin that's part of the membership, what we do once someone's been with us for 6 months, we'll leave the site open for them. We don't worry about it. Unlike other plugins, if you cancel, you get a nice sign across your screen, which is rather nice. But we won't go there.
Steve, I want to make one more point before you switch off.
I was just going to quickly say, Al said about best service city or city service. It doesn't make a lot of difference either way. It's how good the content is on your site, which is why we use AI content now. Personally, I always go with the service first and then the city on my domain names. And sometimes I don't even put the city on my domain names. I've got some gardening ones that I've got up and running up and down the UK that have that people are renting off me for £97 a month. And what's really funny, just and I'll let Robert talk, and then we're gonna sign off of YouTube, is I had a client cancel with me in February, and a month afterwards, I rerouted the phone numbers, updated the site, took his logos off and stuff, and he came back to me and went, I made a big mistake, because what he forgot was he had his van sign written with our domain name. So it just goes to show. And he said, can I have it back? I said, lucky enough, I haven't rented it to see anyone else. Yes, you can come back. But I put the price up. I put it up to 150 because of having to switch it all back for him. What he didn't know was I did a backup of the site first before I changed it. So all I had to do was just restore the site back to that point, which took me about 10 minutes. So And that's extra training, which we'll be going over. Do you want to sum up, Robert? And then we're going to switch off YouTube and people
What I want to get at
they can
is
get on our domain name.
anybody on the call, and Roger, I don't even know, I can't remember that far back. Were you a part of the accountability program?
No, I didn't come into that. I
Okay,
think
so
that's
that
where I
was pre
started.
Roger. I think that Lane, did you do the accountability program? So you'll remember this. And this is not a site that I work on. I haven't touched it since the accountability program. But I built it using those tools. And I'm going to share this with you because it's interesting to me. We just did what Google liked back then.
You know, Robert, I'm going to be really cruel. I'm going to say goodnight to YouTube, and they can come and join us. If you want to join us, head to DFY. I've forgotten what the blooming domain name is now because it's been a long day. DFYmoneymakers.com. DFYmoneymakers.com. You can join the school group, but we're going to carry on now on the inside, and we're going to stop the live stream, and we'll see you.